Hey there, scientists. It's good to see you today. How are you? Ooh, wonderful. Did any of you get to see any plants since yesterday? You did? Did you see some of the plant parts that we had talked about? How cool. Well, why don't we reread those parts and the notes that we learned yesterday, and you can read from my pages or you can read from your own notebook. So yesterday we had the question, what are plants, from a 3rd to 5th grader at Guadalupe Elementary. And things that we know about plants is they have flowers, they could be trees, they have leaves, and they have roots. Then we started our drawing of a plant, I guess 2. And we identified that they have roots that drink water, stems that transfer food and that water. There's leaves that catch sunlight, and flowers. No notes yet. But wonderful job going over that. I love learning and relearning with you. Yesterday we focused on what plants are like, and we did that by talking about their different parts, which we just reviewed. Today we will be asking and answering the question, how do plants grow? This question is from the same scientist from yesterday, but let's go ahead and start by writing it down so we don't forget it. And you could write this in your science notebook. How do plants grow? Question mark. I hope you're able to keep up with me. Now, I'd like for us to finish our drawing from yesterday. We still need to add some explanations to the flowers and the fruit that the plant produces. Something that I learned is that flowers attract or bring insects that help it make seeds. Some flowers carry pollen, which makes us sneeze, and some carry nectar, which is a sweet liquid. Maybe we can write in our notes that flowers attract bugs to make seeds. Shall we add that? Great. Let's add that under flowers. So, oops, I should use the same color. So flowers attract bugs to make seeds. Oops. Okay. Next, we're going to draw the fruit part of the pea plant. The pea. Draw it with me and write fruit next to it. Oh, and I need to add the label fruit. Did you notice that I drew the fruit where the flowers are? That's because when some flowers crumble and look dead, they're actually getting ready to become fruit. The fruits have a very important job. They hold the new seeds inside of them. But not all plants fruit. Some have different ways of making sure their seeds get around. Maybe after we write our final note about fruit, we can move on to how plants grow. Let's write under fruit, carry the seeds, because that's what they do. Awesome job, científicos. We have a lot of information about plants, what they look like, and what each part does. But this doesn't really tell us how they grow. I printed out some pictures of my pea plant that we've all seen before, and we're going to use them to place on a life cycle chart that I have started and I need to grab. So before we place the pictures, let's read the description, the words that I have, and that we'll place after. So I have seed, germination, sprout, plant, flower, and fruit, reproduction. So these are all the stages that a plant goes through. So now let's look at my picture. We have this one, this one, this one, and this one. Which of these three do you think are seeds? I agree. I think this one here looks more like just seeds. The next step is germination, and this is when we start to see the roots out of plant. So, which of these looks more like germination? You're right, the one that just has the roots on it. I agree with y'all. Germination. Oh, I think that's actually upside down. Oh, yeah. So after germination, we get a sprout. Actually, I think my sprout went missing, scientists. But we'll just imagine that. Let's go ahead and go to the plant. Which of these shows the entire plant? You're right. This one shows the entire plant. I can see the stems. I can see the leaves. Well, we can't see the roots, but I think that's because they're under the dirt. So I'm going to put this with plant. And remember, Maestra lost her picture of her sprout, so we won't have it. But maybe I should just draw a quick little sprout so you can see what they look like. And the dirt on the bottom. That way we don't miss out. Next, we have the flower. On which of these can you still see the flower? This one, right? Good job. So it starts as a seed, and then roots come out and it germinates. Then it pops out of the ground as a sprout, and then it's a plant. After it's a plant, it starts to get flowers. So for the fruit and reproduction, that leaves us with this picture. And this one has the pea. Oh, that's the fruit, duh. So that means it has seeds inside. Okay, scientists, I think we have all the stages of a plant's life here. Let's review it one more time before we wrap up. So every plant, well, most plants start as a seed, and then they germinate when the roots come out. And then when they're a sprout, they have some stem and leaves, but not that many. When it's a plant, it has more stems, more leaves. And then it starts to flower, and sometimes the flower will become a fruit, there's seeds inside, and it starts all over again. Awesome job reviewing that with me. We now know the different parts of plants, what they do, and also how those parts help them grow. What was something new that you learned? That was new for you? How exciting! Well, I'm so glad that you learned that with me. Thank you so much for being wonderful scientists today. I can't wait to learn even more about plants with you tomorrow.